Everyone, welcome back to a new post today. Today let's talk about something very important and the after effects of it that are already being felt all around the world, a very important geopolitical issue, also something which is going to impact India as well, because we source our major petroleum and natural gas reserves from this region, that's West Asia. So West Asia is already into turmoil with the Israeli-Palestinian issue, and now we have the Israel-Iran issue as well. So what exactly is going on? Now Iran and Israel definitely are not very good friends, and they have been in confrontation with each other over a long period of time. This intensified with the Israel-Palestinian war. So Iran, being a Muslim country, supports the cause of the Palestinians and also sympathizes with the Palestinians as well. So Iran supports the Palestinian cause and also supports the demand for a separate country, a sovereign separate country with the territory of its own. The Hamas now attacked the Israel last year in 2023, marking 50 years of the Palestinian-Israel or the 7-day war, which we can call. And in retaliation to that, Israeli pledged to end even the last Hamas from the Palestine. Hamas is an organization that partly governs two territories of the Palestinian, which are in Israel. One is West Bank and the other one is Gaza. Recently, however, the trigger to the recent missile firing of Iran on Israel is because of the killing of certain leaders of the Hamas and the Hezbollah. So the Hamas and the Hezbollah are two militant organizations which are widely supported by Iran, but the Israel is against Hamas and Hezbollah group. So the recent trigger to the issue is about the killing of the assassination of the Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran, and the recent killing of the Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah along with Abbas Nil Faroshan. So he is the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps leader in Beirut. This happened in Beirut. So the Iran Islamists have long been sympathizing with Palestinians, and the Palestinian refugees are present in West Bank and Gaza. The Hezbollah, along with Iran, is helping the Hamas in the war against Israeli and the territories which are captured by Israel as well. So who are the countries which support Iran and who are the countries which support Israel? So basically, if you see, most of the geopolitical tensions is because of the sides which the countries take. Mostly it is religious because of the difference between the Shia and the Sunni sect of the Islam, and apart from that is because of the interference of United States in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Syria war, etc. So basically, apart from the religious differences, there are also differences because of the alliances. So there are certain countries that are allied to US and certain countries that are allied to Russia. So those who are allied to US support Israeli, and mainly Israel being a Catholic or a Christian country. It's the Europe and the North and South American countries who basically Christians sympathize with Israel because of the Holy Land. So who are the supporters of Iran? So the number one supporter is Syria. Now Iran and Syria are close strategic allies, and Iran has provided significant support to the Syrian government in the Syrian civil war that still hasn't ended. It provides logistical, technical and financial support as well as training and the combat troops. Iran now sees the survival of the Syrian government as being crucial to its regional interests as well. Iranian security and intelligence agencies are advising and assisting the Syrian military to preserve the rule and the power of Bashar al-Assad, who is the present governing person of Syria. Iran has sponsored and facilitated involvement of the Shia militants from across the region to fight Syria, including the Lebanese Hezbollah, Afghan Liba, Fateh Mion, the Pakistani Liba Zain Bion, the Iraqi Harakat al-Najuba, the Kateb Sayyid al-Shuhada, the Kateb Hezbollah, and the Bahraini Saraya al-Mukhtar. The next one is Hezbollah. It receives military training, weapons, financial support from Iran and political support from Syria. Hezbollah has helped Syria in the civil war and also is being helping Lebanon as well. Hezbollah has been a major combatant in the Syrian war, helping to ensure the survival of the Iran-backed Bashar al-Assad government there in Syria. Iran and Hamas. Hamas is a supporter of Iran. Iran has been supporting Hamas since long. The Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Revolutionary Guards Corps to work with Hamas on last year, when Hamas planned to attack Israel, and also gave a green light to Hamas to launch an assault on Beirut on 2nd October as well. In the Hamas-led attack, the Palestinian militants were killed, primarily civilians, and also almost 200 Israel civilians were taken as hostage. In the weeks leading up ahead, there were 500 fighters from Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad that received training in Iran under the guidance of the Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps and the Quds Force. Iran and Sudan. So until 2016, Sudan was a supporter of Iran, and let me tell you, Sudan along with Iran were called as state sponsors of terror by United States. But since 2016, Sudan has shifted its interest. Now it's aligning with the United States and the countries in the West Asia which are supporting United States, like Israel and Saudi Arabia. That's after the Abraham Accords that were signed by some countries along with Israel, and Israel started to have good relations with the Saudi Arabia and the UAE as well. So it was in 2016, after a 3-decade very good relationship with Iran, Saudi cut off all diplomatic ties with Iran due to tensions between Saudi Arabia and Iran. As a result, the bond between the two countries was severely soured, and once allies, these two countries became enemies, and before that they were both called as state sponsored of terrorism. After Sudan cut off ties with Iran, United States removed Sudan from the list of the state sponsor of terrorism as well. Now, who are the supporters of Israel? Number one is United States, because of the defense coordination partnership, and also religion as well. So Israel's closest military ally is United States, and has a long history of violence against Iran. It is also sanctions on Iran with regard to its nuclear program. Saudi, and also it was Joe Biden, it was Trump who actually cut off the nuclear agreement between US and Israel to actually lessen the sanctions as well. So Saudi Arabia is another supporter of Israel, while Iran is the world's main Shia Muslim leader. Saudi Arabia is the leading Sunni Muslim power. In what is described as a Cold War, the Iran-Saudi Arabia proxy conflict waged at multiple levels over various geopolitical, economic, sectarian influence is nothing but a pursuit of a regional hegemony. Both want to take up leadership positions in their area, and they have been major features of the West Asian. So whenever there's a conflict, you see Saudi Arabia and Iran immediately plummeting to show their power, to show their prowess, to show their might. And it was the same thing that happened even in the Israel-Palestinian war, when Iran started to support Palestinians, and the Saudis started to somewhat indirectly support Israel after especially the Abraham Accords. So what exactly is the repercussion of this Israel-Iran war? Number one, trade disruption, because very close to the Red Sea, which is a passage to the Suez Canal, from where world's almost 70% of the trade comes through that. And recently, because of the Israeli-Palestinian war, already the Houthis and the Hezbollah have been capturing ships and not allowing them to move from this Red Sea path, which is the closest from Europe and Africa towards Asia. Otherwise, they have to take a longer path from the Cape of Good Hope. That's all around Africa, and then coming to Asia. This will only increase the price of the goods or the imports that are coming in. Apart from that, it will take a lot of days for them to navigate all around from the Cape of Good Hope to come to the Asian countries as well. So trade disruption in the Red Sea, both global and Indian traders are now bracing for the long disruption in trade, as vital Red Sea shipping route may now become inaccessible because of the global shipping lines. That's because again of Iran and Israeli. Already Hezbollah shares very close ties with the Yemeni Houthis rebels and are responsible for attacking the ships in the Red Sea as well. This assumes significance as India relies heavily on the route of the Suez Canal for its trade with Europe, US, Africa, West Asia, and also these regions accounted for 400 billion of trade according to the CRISIL ratings. And West Asia is a major source of oil and natural gas for the Asian countries and world over as well. Shipping routes in constant war will disrupt the supplies and also increase the price as well, and make global economy more vulnerable, along with individual country economies as well. Disrupting of key shipping routes. So particularly the Suez Canal and the Red Sea have forced the vessels to take a longer path around the Horn of Africa, leading to a 15 to 20% increase in shipping costs, and actually even much more than that. This has severely impacted the profits margins of many Indian companies, particularly those exporting low-end engineering products, textiles, garments, and other labor-intensive goods as well. Global shipping firms, however, seeing a green light because of the increasing profits. So notably, the shipping lines are seeing profit soaring amidst the Red Sea crisis. The Danish company Maersk seen a barometer of world trade in August, raising its profit forecast for the third time in a year this time, citing higher freight rates due to the Red Sea crisis and solid container shipping demand as well, and longer distances to navigate around the tip of Africa. And the risk to India and other countries who have decided to set up the Indian Middle East Europe Economic Corridor during the G20 summit, and this would already this was delayed because of the Israel-Palestinian war. Now there's going to be a much more higher delay to this EEC corridor, which is being seen as a alternative to China's Belt and Road Initiative. So it's seen as a competitor, and it was announced during the G20 summit last year in New Delhi. So it comprises the eastern corridor connecting India to the Gulf region and the northern corridor connecting the Gulf to Europe. It will include a series of railway, energy routes, shipping transport routes, roads, etc., to ship the goods all across from India right north up to Europe as well. So this is going to be delayed. This is also going to be seen as one of the delay, and definitely humanitarian crisis coming up because there are a lot of displacement of people, increasing use of missiles. So there is a threat of even proliferation of missiles and nuclear material through the terrorist organization, therefore risking the scenario of security and rise in terrorism as well. So these are some of the repercussions of the immediate Iran-Israeli conflict that is going on in West Asia, a very, very fragile geopolitical region and of interest to all over the world. I thought these points will definitely help you all to write a good answer. If you did, please do like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to comment at the end of the video. And I shall see you today once again with regard to the most important points that you need to keep track for the month of October till October 5th. Until then, it's very happy learning.